Hey everyone, welcome back to the video. So I hope you all had a happy new year. Now, as you can see by the title of the video, we're going to be talking about a topic that I am very passionate about, which is game preservation and the whole emulation versus piracy debate. Because this is a topic that's been coming up once again because of this tweet, as you can see here. What's your take on this? And the image says, emulation is piracy.
Hey pal, you just blowing from stupid town?
Yes, the old ancient debate. The old ancient debate, I'm afraid of. There we go through this again because of this tweet. Okay, see, you can see by the meme, it's a very stupid take because emulation is not piracy. It is factually not. There's a distinct difference that we'll get into a little bit. But as you can see by the reply section, though, as we'll get to in a minute, they got ratioed pretty good. They even got community noted, as you can see. Your take on this? They got community noted. Yeah, in space. We'll continue to say it. By Alpha, shout out to him. It's okay as long as the game itself is an old one that has no legal way. I agree with this. Look at those prices, man. You shouldn't have to. Nope, it's the most inconvenient way to play old games that gaming companies refuse to release. Bam! As you can see here, it keeps going on and on. There you go, another mutual. Ramble and entertain. Shout out to you. Preserve and protect. Goddamn right. So as you can see there. So yes, objectively, emulation is the way to go if you want to play your old games, because some companies refuse to or they don't exist anymore, and so as such, games get lost into the abyss. Now, the age-old debate of emulation. Now, what exactly is emulation? There's two distinct variations, which is software and hardware emulation. Software emulation is the most common one, especially when it comes to video games, since it would allow people to play classic games on modern hardware, such as a modern gaming PC, or for a while you could on the Series X through its retail mode. Now you still can through a dev mode. That's a whole different topic though. Now then, we're going to talk about the whole legality of the situation here. As you can see here, copyright law protects the IP of authors and artists. This includes the right to create, reproduce, distribute, and publicly perform works of art, like video games. Video game emulation is protected under copyright law as long as the original video game is not copied verbatim. The emulator must only reproduce the functionality of the game. It is illegal to copy or distribute video game emulators without the permission of the copyright holder. It is illegal to use a video game emulator to pirate or cheat. It is illegal, however, to create and use video game emulators for educational and research purposes, provided that no money is made from them. Now, the legality of emulation varies from country to country. Like in the US, it is legal for emulators. Now, how you get those ROMs is your own business. Whether you legally back them up or you just download them online, it's your own business. It is legal to copy and distribute emulators without permission, while in others it is illegal, like the US for instance, which is where I'm from. The legality of video game emulation is currently being contested in courts. It's been for decades. It's been. Trust me, there's stories out there, plenty of them. It is illegal to sell or trade video game emulators. The legality of emulation is still being contested in court. There's no clear answer as to whether emulation is actually bad for gaming. And if you ask my personal opinion, it is highly good for gaming. Because especially considering companies have shown they don't give a shit about their preservation of their games that they make. They don't give a fuck. Now they'll re-release the same ones over and over again. Nintendo, or Sony, I guess. Remake and remaster, as the meme going around with Sony right now. But you gotta get the whole idea right. Emulation is really good for gaming, especially when the companies that make the games don't exist anymore. Like, for example, Time Splitters, they're gone. That IP has been gone for decades. I mean, the only way you can play them is through emulation, because there's no modern ports of them. Unless you have the Xbox version through backwards compatibility on the Series X. By the way, man, that IP, man, it cannot catch a break, man. I'm heartbroken about the cancellation of it. I am so heartbroken still. Screw you, Embracer. Fuck you for that one. Now the next one is gonna be continuing on. So here we go. Fair use in video game emulation. Emulation is legal, absolutely. It can be used for illegal activities, but is not always associated with piracy. Facts. Emulation allows gamers to experience classic games that may be unavailable on their current system. Yep, perfect example, like Time Splitters, like I just said. Now, other examples I'll use later on. Some gamers feel that emulation will take away from the unique experience of playing console games on personal devices. I disagree with that because emulation can make games better. I mean, when you see like Switch emulation, people are getting those games at 60 FPS like Breath of the Wild. I've seen. Just putting it out there. There needs to be a clear consensus on whether or not emulation is bad. Some emulators allow gamers to cheat in online multiplayer games by using cheats or mods. I've never heard of this, but I'm sure there's examples out there, I'm sure. Video game emulation can be used for educational purposes, allowing students to learn about older video games without having to purchase or borrow the original systems. Emulators can be used to play pirate games, but this is only sometimes in this case. Some emulators are available for free, while others require payment in order to use them effectively. I guess if you're doing like a Patreon thing, sure, I guess, because I remember that was the thing with the Wii U one for a while. Video game emulation remains a highly controversial topic, with many feeling strongly about either side of the argument. Now for the DMC part. The Digital Millennium Copyright Act is a U.S. copyright law that was passed in 1998. The DMCA is designed to protect copyright holders' online privacy. One of the provisions of it was the prohibition of circumvention of tech measures that control access to copyright materials. This includes software that allows users to emulate video games. In 2010, Nintendo filed a lawsuit against two individuals who were using the software emulator to play games on their PCs. Nintendo argued that this violated the copyright protection. In 2012, the U.S. court in California ruled in favor of the defendants, which was a rarity. Very rare for Nintendo to lose. The court ruled that emulation does not violate DMCA because it does not circumvent any technological measures that control access to copyright materials. The decision was appealed and is currently pending. I'm guessing this article is old, since it said it was still currently pending, because again, this was from so long ago. The illegality of video game emulation is a highly debated topic. Some argue that emulation is a form of piracy that should be illegal. Others believe that DMCA protects it. The legality of emulation will likely continue to be a topic of debate. In the meantime, gamers will continue to use software emulations to play their favorite games. You goddamn right I will. Many others will. Especially on PC. PC Master Race, baby. Another win for that. Now, for the actual conclusion of this article. Video game emulation has been around for decades. Yup. It's been going on for years. This legal activity allows gamers to play old games and new systems. Unfortunately, many people use emulation to play illegal ROMs, which is illegal. Fortunately, most emulator developers have implemented measures to prevent the spread of illegal ROMs. It will still happen no matter what. Any ROM that you can find literally online for any old game, you can find a legal ROM for it. It's going to happen whether people like it or not. Whenever using an emulator for legal or illegal purposes, the emulator is still illegal, according to the DMCA. Fortunately, there are many legal ways to use emulators. I don't know where that last statement is coming from, unless you're referring to like in specific countries, like where it is illegal to use emulators. So, but other than that though, yes, it is legal to use emulators. There absolutely is. So, emulation is definitely very, very legal. It's in certain countries. I know it's like it's been contested for decades in my country, which is the U.S. I don't know how it is in others. So from other countries who what so happen to see this video, let me know if it's legal or illegal in where you're from. But you kind of get what I'm saying though. Emulation is highly legal. Now for actual piracy, that is definitely a different discussion. And we'll show this article about a certain individual who is very notorious in the hacking scene when it comes to like Nintendo hardware, for instance, who knows by the game, Gary Bowser, which is kind of funny because, you know, Nintendo of America president Doug Bowser. You see what I was doing there? I tried. Anyway, so Gary Bowser, a man sentenced in 2021 to 40 months in prison and a $14.5 million fine for his role in Nintendo Hacker Group Team Execution, was just released from jail. This article is from last year, by the way, but it's possible the massive amount of money he now owes in restitution may impact the entire rest of his life and his livelihood. He was indicted back in 2020, so 3 years prior, alongside two other individuals for their activities as part of this group, a hacker ring that sold chips allowing users to play pirate games, especially on the Switch. That's like the most notorious one. Despite seemingly having a smaller role in the operation, he was the only one of the three who was ultimately tried and convicted. The Chinese national, Chen, who was never arrested, and the other individual was never able to be extradited into the U.S. Bowser was initially charged with 11 felonies, including wire fraud, conspiracy to circumvent tech measures, trafficking and circumvention devices, and conspiracy to commit money laundering. He pled guilty to 2 of the charges and was sentenced to first a $14.5 million fine, then an additional $10.5 a 10 million additional, hence up making up that 14.5 million fine. As well, he faced up to 40 months in prison. In an interview, this article wrote, he called in not from the detention center he was actually incarcerated, but from the Northwest Detention Center in Washington. He said he was awaiting processing before being sent home, having got out of prison early on good behavior. He claims that the 14.5 million he owed, he's only been able to pay off 175 bucks so far, taking out in 25 monthly installments from his income from a job in the library of the prison. Should he find a job at home in Canada, he said his pay will continue to be docked until the full amount is paid off, which is going to be a very, very long time with a high amount he was indicted for. Although his agreement with Nintendo only allowed 25 to 30% of his pay to be docked at a time, previously Bowser stated that while Team Execution earned at least tens of millions in proceeds, he himself received a small fraction of it. And then Nintendo, IGN kind of talked about previous stories where Nintendo has gone after people. I remember like a whole emulator website had to be shut down because Nintendo sued the couple that was running the site and they couldn't continue operation anymore because they just couldn't have the funds to do it. So that ROM site got shut down completely. I forgot what the name of it was, but I remember hearing a story about it, very long ago. You kind of get where I'm coming from though. With Nintendo, they are very notorious for going after people hard because they hate emulation, even though they use it themselves. How do you think Nintendo Switch Online is, boys? How do you think that runs? Oh wait, emulators. Just saying that, putting it out there, boys. Just putting it out there. Now for my take on the whole emulation and piracy thing. Here's a little nugget for people who have watched the channel long enough to know. I've actually used emulation to do walkthroughs on real games on the channel before. The current Arco 6 one, which is about to be finished up with the next video after this one, which will be the finale of that game, I actually used the real-time mode on the Series X because I didn't have a gaming PC at the time. I actually played through the whole thing, and right after I finished it, Microsoft shut down that whole operation with the retail mode, so I got very lucky with that one. Very, very lucky with that, so I got very lucky with it. Now for the other game, which was Spider-Man Web of Shadows, I had to use the emulator again, because like the whole emulation thing on the Xbox, it was going on for a while, so that's how I did that one too. So there's many, many instances, so I got lucky. How do you think I was able to play those games? Through emulation. That's why emulation is a good thing. Now for the whole piracy thing, I'm not condoning it, but you know what, screw it, I'm gonna, in a way, because here's my thing. As long as the companies don't make the game anymore, don't sell the game anymore, you should be able to pirate it no matter what. Especially if it was a game that you bought that was taken away from you. Because I remember when Sony was trying to shut down the PS3 and the Vita store back in 2021. Y'all remember that story? And everyone lit a fire on their ass. And then until they eventually recanted it, where they kept the PlayStation 3 and the Vita store still running. Now obviously shut down the PSP store though, but again, that was a system that came out around the time the original DS did, which was back in the mid 2000s. Like that's ancient hardware at that point. Same with the PS3 though, but that's still around though. The store for that though, because apparently it's still making money for Sony, so hence why I don't know why they tried to shut it down in the first place, which is weird. Now for the other side of things, Microsoft is actually shutting down the 360 store if they haven't already. I remember reading this, I think last year or something like that. Which I don't know why Microsoft is, because there's so many games that you can't play through back and pat. Like the Spider-Man game I just mentioned before, Web of Shadows, you can't play that through back and pat. You cannot. I literally had to use, the whole dev mode or whatever to be able to do that. Hence why that walkthrough was able to happen. But yeah, TRDR, basically, now if a company has taken away a game, yeah, you pirate it. Screw them. Because it's okay for them to take away shit from you, but it's not okay for you to take shit from them. How does that work? So, very hypocritical of these companies, especially considering they use emulation themselves, like Capcom with the Metal Gear collection, or Mega Man with Konami with Metal Gear, that's what I meant to say, but Capcom with the Mega Man numerous Mega Man collections. I mean, I referenced it before, Nintendo uses emulation themselves for the NSO, and 2 out of 3 games in the Super Mario 3D All-Stars, remember that they yanked away from that? You all remember? I still have them installed on my Switch, by the way, because I swear, if they don't make the Switch 2 back compat, oh, I'm gonna lose my shit on that one. I'm gonna lose my fucking shit, because it'll be some bullshit excuse. that I'm sure Nintendo will come up with if they try that. But I hope that I do think the Switch 2 will be back a pet. That's a whole different topic though. But yeah, TLDR, I absolutely think emulation is absolutely a good thing that should be encouraged more in this industry because these gaming companies, as long as they continue to resell, they do not give a shit about preserving your games. I mean, this is how why people are scared about the whole digital distribution future, where physical copies don't exist anymore. You know what I mean? For Christ's sake, man, Ubisoft released Far Cry 6 on the Xbox with no data on the disc. It was just a little, placeholder basically. Because it was, confusion about how Halo Infinite's campaign works on the disc. I remember testing this like 2 years ago or something like that, and it worked from what I remember. I don't know how different it is now. Then again, I don't play my Xbox really anymore since I've moved to PC. But still, though, yes, absolutely. I do support piracy when they take shit away from you. So yes, take away from them, pirate it. Since they have proven they want to take shit, they could take shit away from you. You should be able to do it to them. So yeah, I'm done. So that is my thoughts on this whole situation. Absolutely, emulation is a good thing. Absolutely, it should always be championed in this industry. Absolutely, because if these game companies won't preserve the games, we should do it for them. Absolutely, that's why I always cheer for gaming emulation. Always will. Period. Now I'll continue to do so. But that's my thoughts on this whole situation. What do you guys think? Let me down in the comment section below, and if you like this video, hit the like button, and I'll see you on the next one. Till then, have a good one.